Hi, I'm Craig. That's my brother Brad. Welcome to Weekdays with Craig and Brad.
Life is hard, but you can't give up. Let's have a conversation. Weekday, we're gonna make it today. Weekdays with Craig and Brad.
Episode 112. Brad, we made it.
We made it. We're still going with this thing after all this time. It's amazing.
We must really love it.
We must be having a great time for ourselves here. I'm glad we're doing this show, no matter who's watching at any time, because we've done some really fun things on this show over the last 112 episodes. And tonight, 111 episodes. Tonight will probably be the best show we've ever done.
There's a distinct possibility.
As you're yawning. Tonight's going to be the best show ever. You're like, oh.
It's not about the yawn. It's about my jaw. My jaw. Here, I was watching a video. There's this guy. I think his name is Bo Hightower or something. He's he does all these videos, and he's like 1.5 million subscribers. He's a chiropractor guy, right? Mm-hmm. And he was doing an adjustment on Diamond Dallas Page, the pro wrestler guy with DDP Yoga, right? Mm-hmm. And when he was doing the adjustment, he was talking about all the things that was wrong with him as a doctor. And he listed off like 35 things. He was talking about like arthritis in his hands and blah, 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 and this on his shoulder and blah, blah, blah. And he listed off all these little things. And I started thinking about all the little things that are on my body that are hurting or aching that I just don't really think about, or I just haven't really thought about fixing. Like, well, both my jaws hurt, my shoulders hurt, my left ankles hurt, my knees hurt. I'm getting arthritis in my fingers. It's like there's all these like little things that I just don't think about throughout the day.
Yeah.
That totally add up. So I'd like to thank Dr. Bo Hightower or whatever his name is for bringing my mortality to my face. Appreciate that.
Yeah. No, we printed out like these little body outlines at the beginning of the year. Everybody's hyped up, new year, new me kind of thing. And and we print out these little outlines of a boy and girl. Me and Kelly did, and then we're like, let's just write down everything we'd like to fix about ourselves and everything, every little joint that's aching. And then you end up circling the entire picture because you're just like, oh.
Right. Well, you go, well, my knees, my shins, my
right. I printed it out thinking like, well, I've got this thing in my neck. But then as I went from head to toe, I was like, oh, and it's in my shoulder, and also like, yeah, my knee, and it goes crazy. But
well, so I usually play basketball on Thursday nights up at a church, and it's usually late night, like 9 p.m. Around 8:15 on Thursday night, I was standing in front of my TV, just watching TV, and I was like,
this is hard.
Well, like I didn't do anything, and just like my shoulder, it's not even my shoulder. My shoulder's up here, but it's like right on my collarbone, and it's been like I can't do anything with it right now. It's horrible. And I did nothing to it. It was just like, ow.
That's how you know you're getting old.
What?
Is number one, what is that? It hurts.
Yeah.
Where is it in my body? And then it's like, I'm out for the rest of the day. I'm done.
I'm not really understanding this. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Well, good evening to everybody watching over at youtube.com/5timesaugust and twitch.tv/stutteringcraig. GF Raptor fan has come in with the resub of tier 1 for 8 total months, 7 in a row. Says, thanks so much. No, thank you. Did you know that GF Raptor fan, I learned a lot about GF Raptor fan. We hopped on a Skype call to talk about some stuff with Collaborator. GF Raptor fan is really into, like, doesn't even really like video games, right? Likes fitness stuff, Zumba, things like that. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys go follow GF Raptor fan over on Twitch. So when she does stream, you can watch her do Zumba and the health stuff. I think that's pretty awesome stuff. I mean, that's really cool, and not a lot of people are doing that. So if anybody's into that, go check it out. I think maybe I can do a little Zumba.
Yeah,
Zumba.
Sure. I haven't heard that in a while.
Right.
Hey,
yes.
On this day, Craig.
Oh, please.
July 25th, in the year Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
2002.
Ooh.
I usually go with 80s and 90s. Today,
Yeah.
I'm crossing the Y2K spectrum. We're in the year 2002. What is the number one movie in America on this day in the year 2002, which is almost 20 years ago?
So we're in the aughts. I'm gonna go with Matrix Reloaded.
Mm, Fine guess. You ready for this?
I guess.
Austin Powers, Goldmember. The last Austin Powers movie.
Oh, what a shame.
The last Austin Powers movie was 20 years ago.
Wow.
19 years ago, technically.
Yeah,
But can you believe that?
that's amazing.
That is crazy. Still funny. If you go back, have you watched those movies lately? Go watch. Oh my gosh. So you talk about movies you can't make today.
Right.
All three Austin Powers. I
Right,
mean,
right.
you got Fat Bastard in number 3.
Man in a
The-
fat
the
suit.
whole-
Why don't you just get a fat guy? You know.
The whole premise.
Mhm.
Not to mention he's what, Irish in that movie.
Scottish.
All of the or Scottish. All of the what do you call it? What's the word that the kids are saying these days? Whenever you cultural appropriation.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Lots of that. Yeah, and he's such a womanizer. The Me Too movement is massive. He's a swinger, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. I do a terrible Austin Powers.
Oh, can I hear it?
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Oh, and just Austin Powers.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I did this series a while back called it was on my what was that really short-lived social media account where you had 6 seconds to do a thing.
Oh, yeah. I know
What was
you're
that
talking
called?
about. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Anyways, I made a series on there called Bad Impressions. And I would just get on there and think of a thing. I'd do Ray Ramon. Vine. That's it. Thank you,
Vine,
Colorama. Yeah, I'd do it on my Vine. That was what my Vine was Bad Impressions. And I'd be like, the Beatles. And I'd be like, hello, I'm George Harrison. I just do a terrible impression. I'm Ray Romano.
Were they really popular?
No,
Oh,
of course not.
Okay.
When
People
I do
don't-
those,
people don't know real humor, Brad.
no, my kind of humor does not go with anybody's humor, really. But
Apparently not.
no.
My man Esther Rocker showing up over on YouTube says, "Hey guys, just want to finally say hi in real time. This is Esther Rocker from the Twitch streams.
Alright.
Good to see you, buddy. Brad, love your music, bro. Keep up the good work. I'm heading
Thanks.
to sleep. Gonna listen tomorrow. Sounds good. I'll be ready to go tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time over at twitch.tv/StutterandCraig. There you go. Should be fun. Oh, Video Game Pollux says, why is Brad's music voice so much louder? Well, I'll change that. Hold on. I'll bring
You
him
want me
down.
to? You want me to bring? You're gonna bring me down?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll bring you down. I'll bring
Okay, I
I'll
can
bring you
control.
down instead of me up. So
Okay.
there you go. That should be better.
I'm always in a microphone like that.
Eat it up.
I can't hear myself on my end, so anyway.
No, that's fine. I can't hear you. No, I'm just looking at the feedback from Video Game Pollock right there. So yeah, speaking of from Esther Rocker, you do have a new song out right now, Brad. Would you like to talk about it?
I do, sure. Yeah, I put out a new song on Friday called "I Will Not Be Leaving Quietly." It's out now on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and you can watch the music video on YouTube.com right here, YouTube.com/5timesaugust. Check it out. It's part of my series of acoustic protesty kind of folky tunes for the year. And also, hey, look at this. Check this out. Pull this up.
Oh,
I've got
sure.
shirts. If you want to get a shirt, check it out. Go to 5timesaugust.com and click on the apparel link, and I've got some stuff there. So
It's not just not just to promote the music, but it's a cultural statement.
hell yeah. Yeah, the music video is going well. We got 5,000 views already in a couple days. It's going really great. It hasn't been marked by the overlords yet, so that's a good thing. Speaking of music videos and overlords and stuff like that, my Facebook page had one of my last videos, Jesus, What Happened to Us, I released earlier this year, and it's kind of sitting stagnant on my Facebook page. But over the last, 4 or 5 days, It's been booming. It's been getting shared. It's up to 20,000 views now. You know
All
where
right.
they're coming from?
Where's that?
Canada.
Really?
So to all my Canadian friends up there, thanks for watching and sharing the video. And some of these videos that I've put out, they're being removed from searches, and it makes it harder to find. And from what I understand, Facebook is kind of playing the same games as YouTube. So I appreciate that.
Well, it's crazy, man. We are living in a weird time, and I think that's, you know, when we talk about this podcast, I think that's the kind of the crazy thing about it is we want to have these conversations, but I think more than anything, this podcast has been about a couple brothers trying to navigate the insanity of the last 18 months or so, you know, and that's really a lot of it. It's been crazy. So, man,
yeah. It started out like, I mean, when we started this podcast back in November, you know, we were going to stay out of topical things, and it just
we wanted to stay as far away from it as possible.
Yeah,
far away. Yeah.
But you know, in fairness, the show is still a grab bag of stuff. We've got some surprises for you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, maybe we should do
the YouTube comment of the day.
Nice lead.
And there we go. You weren't ready for it, were you?
No.
Okay. YouTube comment of the day today. Hold on. Let me see. Let me pull it up right here from Christopher Abels. Says, I'd rather hang out with an adult who enjoys toys than someone who thinks he's too good for them. To quote C.S. Lewis, when I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. So thank you, Christopher Abels, for your comments. Of course, defending my toys in the background of my set here, which somebody was trolling our last episode, trying to pick on me because I have toys back here. I'm like, I don't care. But appreciate it, Christopher. I'm going to give you 17,000.
What?
Weekdays with Craig and Brad points.
Oh, pardon me.
Whoa. Craig just had a thing. He just had a thing.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what you just 17,000 points.
17,000. 17,000.
Wow. Well, congratulations once again to Chris.
Yeah.
You truly with your 17,000 points received
the YouTube comment of the day.
Unbelievable, really.
Yeah. So our last episode was about weird people on the internet. And we were like, why are people so weird on the internet? And we were talking about like our trolls and people on Twitter and all of the hate and divisiveness that has happened. And ironically, you know, I was talking about an account that had come up that was trying to troll me, and this week I had some kind of a scary, but also fascinating occurrence with my Twitter. I actually had somebody, like a literal stalker, dox some information about me to another anonymous person, and I didn't take it lightly, because that's dangerous stuff. Like, if you want to be, you know, a crappy troll, I can handle that. But when you start putting stuff out there and like about me that I'm like, I don't know you, I don't know who you're talking to, I take it seriously, right? So I reported that their tweet to Twitter. Twitter took it down, but they kept sort of hassling me about stuff and trolling on me. So I report them some more. Twitter continuously sends me back these things it's like, we didn't see anything wrong with what they were saying, and I'm like, look again. But
just to be clear, when you say you dox, they essentially posted your home address.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they I mean, like, they weren't not just, well, okay, I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to give them too much attention. So, but they released something of my whereabouts online. And so I report this to Twitter. Twitter removed the one tweet by them. But this conversation keeps going. I did call the cops, Ty. In fact, I reported with the cops. I went through the whole thing because this is a serious thing. You don't want to, you don't want people showing up. So I did go to the police. I made a report. But I was trying to connect with Twitter on this whole thing. I'm like, remove this person. Like, this is seriously dangerous. Remove them. They do not need to be on Twitter. And I come to find out that the Twitter regulations, their rules and regulations or whatever, they will remove a tweet that includes private information and then warn the user. And then if they do it again, then they take them down. So in order to be suspended from Twitter for doxing information, you do get a warning, which I found completely ironic. So on one hand, Stalker doxes information. Terribly dangerous thing. You get a warning, slap on the wrist. On this side of the aisle, any information that Twitter deems disinformation or they don't like, or an account. Remember when I made that Joe Biden account and it lasted 3 days and they removed it and I had 0 followers because they just didn't like it?
Well, to be clear, you need to tell people what the Joe Biden account was for those who don't know.
The Joe Biden account was, I made a Joe Biden account. Joe Biden promised that if he became president, he was going to cure cancer. And so I made a Twitter account that was called Joe Biden's Cancer Promise. And it was going to keep daily record of whether or not Joe Biden had, in fact, cured cancer. And so I created this account. 3 days into it, boom, I'm suspended. I had 0 followers. I had like 2 or 3 tweets. It was a nothing account, but they removed it, no question. So I'm toggling these 2 situations of my own Twitter experience back and forth. So I've got, oh, that's weird, this dumpy little silly account that I made. They removed that, no problem. That was scary stuff to Twitter. On this side, I'm getting stalked and people are telling other strangers information about me. They get a slap on the wrist. So that is the insane world of social media right now. And I just couldn't believe it. I wanted to talk about it because that was, kind of a follow-up on our last episode. But isn't that crazy?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. And this is what I said. I feel like you should get off it and leave it alone and just let it be. And I don't know. Do you feel like you're like bending the knee if you do that? Like you feel like, I feel like you're fighting this fight and like,
I'm not doing anything. The thing is, like on a matter of principle, anything that I post on Twitter or on anybody, this is the whole point of what's being attacked on free speech right now, is that if you say, I should be allowed to say whatever I want on Twitter, on Facebook. I'm not saying
private business, man, private business.
Right. So, but ideally, anything I'm saying on there isn't. It's not like I'm saying anything like, I don't know. Actually, it's not like I'm telling people where other people live.
Right.
But like, so, it's a weird thing. On a matter of principle, though, like you should be able to say things without people literally hunting you down these days. And it's pretty disgusting that we're at that point. So.
Right. Well, and like I said, like I told you before, it's not the 99.999% of people you need to worry about. It's the 0.0001% of people that you need to worry about.
Right.
0.001%, like that's the people you need to worry about, because that's still 1 in 10,000 people, that are just absolutely balls crazy. And apparently they're all on Twitter. So,
because they can hide behind, I mean, the whole exchange was anonymous account here, create something. I'm like, hey, you're a troll. And I'm going back and forth with that troll. Another anonymous account comes in and goes, hey, you want to patch this up? He gives them my information. And I'm like, holy crap.
So patch that up. You mean like, hey, you want to show up with a gun?
Yeah, instigating violence. And that was what I put in the Twitter report. So isn't that insane? Like that somebody can imply like, hey, why don't you go take care of this in the back alley? And Twitter's just like, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
What was the thing that
we can't remove them for that?
Was it was it President Biden who said like Facebook is killing people? Like if that's the
Right.
stance, if that's the stance Twitter's going to take, like Twitter is literally killing people.
Yeah.
You don't know how many people have died because of things that have happened on Twitter.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that was one of my thoughts this week was remember when Joe Biden said Facebook was literally killing people and then Facebook wasn't held accountable for all the deaths? It's like what a thing to say.
Yeah.
Like this website is literally it's killing people. And then it's just like, yeah, but
well, on a good news, but John came in with the $2 super
hey,
sticker.
thanks, John.
That's awesome. And Alex Howe came in with 245 bits. Alex, thank you so much. Saying, and I quote, by the way, my fellow legends, if you haven't listened to the album Behind Brad's Right Shoulder, you really should. Incredible music.
Oh, yeah.
Smile by the Beach Boys.
That's right. That's exactly what that is. Yeah. I love the Beach Boys.
Ty comes in with a good question. He says, hey, Craig, has that happened to you during your Screw Attack, Game Attack years, Scary Stalkers? Honestly, been pretty fortunate. I've talked about the one instance super early on where somebody essentially catfished somebody else as me. They acted as me to somebody else. And that wasn't necessarily something that I did or something that was done to me. It was more done to another person, which makes me feel incredibly sad for that. For number one, the person who was catfished, and number two, the person who was doing the catfishing, because I don't know who it was, but they are a sorry sack of crap. So, that's really the scariest thing that's happened. Fortunately, I think the internet's changed a lot since my heyday. Look, let's say I understand where I'm at in my career right now, right? And I'm totally comfortable with that. Fortunately, I'm not in a situation where I'm doing a top 10 and about the PlayStation and just to egg on fanboys, and it's getting, 1 million views, and you have people who are just so rabidly upset at me, like they were in 2010 or whatever it was. So, it's just the internet's a little different than it was back then, for sure. A little more scary right now.
It's scary because they're cowards. That's the thing about it. These people that get on anonymous accounts and they think that they're owning you or something like that. It's like, you're not even showing your face. You can't even show your face. They always have like some anime icon or something like that. They're always hiding. Right. It's crazy. Speaking of this crazy world, we haven't done this bit in a while.
Okay.
And I wanted to do this tonight. This is a story that I saw right before we got on tonight. And we used to do this on the show. We just haven't done it in a while. This segment is called What Are We Doing?
Oh.
Which, you remember this?
Yeah. Well, so it's not this?
What the heck?
No, it's not that one. It's not. It's
not. What the heck is that?
It's not
The YouTube.
No. Is it the intro? No, not that one. Is it the
no.
No. We don't have an intro.
We
for that
never
one.
made a bump.
That's it. That is just strictly for me and Brad right there.
We never made a bumper for this. This is the bumper. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
So I saw this story and this popped up. This is now why the way we teach kids table manners is actually kind of racist. The message that eating food with your hands is unmannered is dripping. Craig, it's dripping with the control and shame of colonization. And we need to rethink our idea of good manners, says chef and food activist Joshna Maharaj.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's such thing as a food activist?
These days, yes, there is. This could also be a segment called "Oh, that's racist now too," because literally everything, anything and everything, it's all racist these days. Table manners, like, no, we got to stop this, right? Like, who actually? I have this talk a lot with Kelly about whether or not we're actually teaching the kids table manners. Like our generation grew up setting the table and stuff, and we would sit down and we'd have a nice dinner, but we weren't really taught table manners. You know what I mean? Maybe please and thank you, but it wasn't like the 50s or the 40s what table manners were, where you had to sit up straight and cut. So it seems like table manners have kind of gone by the wayside, is what I'm saying, and that in no way table manners these days is looked at in the same way. Like if you're sitting there eating with your hands is unmannered. 90% of American food is food you eat with your hands. There's no way anybody's thinking about that. Pizza, chicken wings, French fries, hamburgers.
With all due respect to Joshna Maharaj, with all due respect to Joshna, like you clearly have a butler named Jeeves that sets that puts your binky down in your lap and will cut your meat for you, and you have a cold fork for salad. And you have one of those really nice scrapers that scrapes off all the crumbs like you have at the steakhouse, that takes all listen, that may be you, Joshna, but that ain't us. All right. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Like, if my kid sneezes and covers their mouth and says, excuse me, that's a great day. All right.
Right. You're like, I'm doing pretty good as a parent.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's insane, right? Like these articles that are written about things like this speak to the such ridiculous, like it's just outrage for outrage. That's all it is. It's just outrage. Well, listen, it's time to rethink which forks we use.
Right.
It's time to rethink that it's okay to not use forks.
It turns out salad forks, having 2 forks for your dinner and having to start with the salad fork, it's actually based in race in systemic racism, if you look at it. Yeah, it's absurd. I mean, we've talked about this on the show many times, but like these kind of stories solidify that we are actually right underneath this insane time, right underneath it. Okay, here's everything that's happened. A big, thick, frothy mess of 2020 and 2021 and everything that's happening right underneath it. If it's a beer, right? All that good stuff's underneath it. Everything underneath it is the best time ever to be alive in the history of all of humanity ever. The most convenient, laziest, happiest time to ever be alive. But on top of it, we keep caking on this ridiculousness of these stories that we have so little to worry about that we need to now start worrying about whether or not table manners are racist. And these people just write this stuff just to, they write it for them. It's go ahead.
Com says it great. Com says there's a generation that survived a stock crash, Spanish flu, 2 world wars, saw the Korean and Vietnam wars, and a generation born in the late 80s complain that they don't know what a tough life it is. It's you're 100% right, Com. Like, yeah. It's so good right now. People don't understand how good they truly have it, and it's one of those things that you don't know until you don't.
It's right underneath all of this crap too. That's the most frustrating thing about it. It's like it's within reach, but we just won't let ourselves have it. We have to ruin it for ourselves. I mean, we have an iPhone, for crying out loud. Everybody gets an iPhone. Everybody gets a smartphone. And what a luxury that is in and of itself. But what do we use it for? Twitter, trolling, stalking, hating on people.
Ship has a good question. By the way, nice jello in your avatar. Says, so is using a napkin racist? Hold on. Are napkins racist?
What color is the napkin is probably the question.
Hold on. Are napkins racist? Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Did you find an article?
I sure did. Here we go.
Fantastic.
Got it. Here we go. Let's see. Delta Coca-Cola apologized for napkins. Let's see.
They better apologize for
Well,
napkins.
listen. I don't know what
Those
this is.
SOBs.
I don't know what this is. Let's see what we got. Oh crap! I got to read more. No.
I just like that there's so many apologies in that headline. Now the airline apologizes.
Yeah, I don't know, but the fact that our napkins RAC autofill to racist like says that we're not the first person to ask this question,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
which is amazing.
It's a game now, I imagine. You could take anything and type in "is blank racist" and you'll find an article for it or something like that.
Well, let's play that game really quick. Give me
Okay.
anything.
Oh geez, mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Since we're talking about food, it's kind of what came to mind.
Okay, let me just do a quick.
Are mashed potatoes racist?
Well,
Throw us some suggestions in the chat. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely, or for sure. Another quick. Well, if you're bringing up mashed potatoes, Brad, naturally the first thing would be talking about Thanksgiving, obviously. Turkey, mashed potatoes, and educating your racist relatives for sure.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, racism is bred at the dinner table over the mashed potatoes. Look at this.
Oh,
Naturally,
it's the crux that is behind all of the racism. Mashed potatoes are the reason we're in this predicament.
That's right. Toothpaste. Let's see what we got. Let's see if toothpaste is this is the thing. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Gosh. The answer is yes.
Of course it is.
Here we go. Colgate is still selling black person toothpaste in China now that now that's under review. So, just
Yeah.
who
Black
knows? Of
person
course.
toothpaste, for crying out loud. The people that write that are the most racist people in the world. It's ridiculous. We were having a conversation again last night, my wife and I, because she's very focused on the kids. She's worried about their education, how they're being raised.
That's very misogynistic of you to say that your wife is worried about the kids, Brad. Aren't you worried about the kids?
Of course I am.
What's the problem here?
My perspective was this.
See, anybody can do it.
Right. My perspective was this. I was like, look, no matter what happens in their life, they are so cushioned. Any child in this day and age, like everybody else, we are so cushioned. I was like, look back 2 generations, our grandparents, when they were 6, 7, 8, 9, they were selling newspapers on the corner street, slicing up beans amongst each other in the Great Depression for dinner. Rocks were their toys, and they grew up to be responsible individuals, and they had families and were successes. Like, our kids will be okay as long as we give them a good foundation, no matter what education they're missing. Like,
real quick, Tai was curious if cars are racist. And Tai, what a silly, stupid question. Of course, cars are racist. Like, come on. Of course. Once again, just type in R, whatever you want right here. Can dogs be racist? Yes, of course.
Oh, we know that.
We've established that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Ale Borland, my man, came in and resubbed tier 1 for 5 months over on Twitch. Thank you so much. And Alex Howe came in with 245 more bits as mashed potatoes are racist because mashing them symbolizes the struggle of Irish immigrants to New York around 1800.
What a fun game. We should.
Oh man,
we could make that the entire premise of the episode.
That's it. We could legitimately we could do that's a marathon live stream. You could do 24 hours, 24 hours of just playing that game. Yeah. Is blank racist, and all you do is you just go down the rabbit hole of what makes whatever topic it is. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So before we get derailed too much, while we're talking about how great it is to be alive.
Yes.
Let's talk about exactly how great it is to be alive. I want everybody to close their eyes, and I want them to think about their hopes and dreams and aspirations. I want you to imagine you are an athlete and you have this vision for yourself to be the best athlete in your field, that one day you will reach the Olympic Games. And then I want you to imagine the country that allowed you to pursue your dreams, to be the best you can be, that supported you the whole way, that got you there into the Olympic Games. You're there, and in your mind, you're thinking, my country sucks. My country's horrible. What a terrible place to live. Because that's exactly what's happening right now with the Olympic Games and the Olympians that are there. And nobody's watching. Everybody I've talked to here is like, I hate to say it, I'm sad, but I'm glad that America's doing so poorly in the Olympics right now because they don't deserve to win. But it's crazy. So the Olympics is going on right now. The ratings are horrible, and half the athletes there are ungrateful and angry about being Americans.
Let's not speak in hyperbole. It's a few that that are vocal. Listen, I would say that 99% of the United States representatives are very proud to represent the United States.
I'll walk that statement back because I'm not actually watching the Olympics, so I wouldn't know.
Right.
But I have seen, yes, you're right. I'll walk it back.
It's a matter of, there's a select few. Once again, it's the vocal minority who want to yell and scream, and they're the ones who are getting the headlines because, once again, in journalism, if it bleeds, it leads. If you yell the loudest, you get the headline. That's been established. We've recognized this. You can have literally 0 followers on Twitter and get a company to cancel their relationship with somebody else based off of something that you say. And if you yell loud enough, they will hear you. Yeah. But I figured we should check the medal count here because the Olympics are happening. Here they are right here. You can see China is actually leading the Olympics. This is courtesy of Google, right? China is leading with 12 total medals, 6 total. This is the first time I've seen it racked up in gold. Like the gold is more valuable, but I always thought the total medal count was more valuable. But apparently China and Japan are leading, I guess, now, and the United States is in third, coupled with the extreme disappointment of the NBA players losing to France. Did you hear this?
I have not heard this.
The NBA basketball team, the USA basketball team, who hadn't lost a game since 2004, lost a game to France this morning. It's like, what are you doing? And the crazy thing about it is, like, so for the past 15 years or so, this guy, Coach Krzyzewski of Duke, he's been a coach of USA basketball, and the head coach now is this guy Greg Popovich, who is the coach of the San Antonio Spurs, right? So Coach K steps down, Popovich steps in, and Popovich, like, he's always been a pretty military guy, but he's kind of gone like crazy wacko the last like 5 years, like politically in the NBA and stuff, and it's really interesting because when you think of USA basketball, you think of them just blowing everybody out, like winning every game. And now that he's losing, and reporters are like, "Well, are you surprised by losing?" And he's like, "No, I'm not surprised." It's like, you should be surprised, you fucking asshole. Like you should be beating every team by 35 points. Like, there are expectations here, and you are letting them down. And it's like, if you should be surprised if you lose, if it's a single digit game, if you win by less than 10, you should be surprised. So to hear, and to see like the women's gymnastics, they kind of faltered. They were the heavy favorites, and they're now, I guess, second place or something. So I don't know. It's just crazy. And like, I think the sheer, now the time zone definitely has something. It's taking place over in Tokyo right now, and obviously there's a big 12-hour time difference, right? So, like this tonight they did the swimming live, and they were waking up at like 7 a.m. over there so that they would swim in the evening here at like prime time. So like, they're definitely playing to the American audience as far as when they're starting these things. For the most part, but it's crazy, man. I love the Olympics. I love caring about who wins the 10-meter, shooting competition or who came in third place in judo. You know, like I love, you know, or if an American placed in table tennis or whatever, I love those stupid little things. But for me, the thing about it is the idea that these people work their entire lives for these individual moments, and for it to be overshadowed by everything that's happening right now and these vocal jerks and you know, like when you see them on the medal stand and they have these, their faces are covered, you know, and then they should be standing there to like, yeah, you know, and they're just like, they got their faces covered, and it's just sad, man. It's just sad. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, I was on I was a guest on a podcast this week, and that was one of the questions was they were asking if the ratings are related to all of the politics that's sort of overshadowing. No. You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it has to do with the time difference, personally.
Really? No, because like you think about other Olympics throughout, you know, the last several decades.
Well, so last one was Rio de Janeiro in 2016, the Summer Olympics, and that was essentially United States time zones, because the time zones go straight up, straight north and south. And historically, whenever they've been on the other side of the world, you know, they've definitely, specifically over in like Asia, they haven't performed very well. You know, but I don't know. It'd be interesting, but there's so many different factors attached to the idea of how they would do versus another time they were in Asia. I mean, just the contributing factors of so many different forms of entertainment now compared to then, you know, and it's harder to watch. I mean, it's harder to watch something that's on at, you know, the middle of the night when that's when people actually want to watch it live. You wake up and you see the results, so you don't need to watch it, you know. Yeah. So
well, and I guess that's another thing too. Whatever event you care about, you can find the highlight of it on YouTube and just watch it at your convenience as well. So you don't have to watch it live. But I personally think that a lot of these big kind of event TV programs, the Olympics, the Grammys, the Oscars, they're all tanking in ratings because they have been doused with a lot of politicized speak, and you know, people don't watch those things to hear more of that. You know, why do we, you know, we've talked about this, why do you watch sports? To escape the real world. You know, why do you watch, you know, why do you listen to music or watch those award shows? Just to sort of get away and daydream and, you know, go brain dead for a couple hours before you go back to work tomorrow.
Right.
But it's seeped its way into every single thing that people are just zoning out. You know, at this point, I'd rather just pick up an old book than see what the latest TV show is or something like that.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Well, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing to see kind of the sheer indifference attached to the Olympics, and just how much the United States is faltering. I mean, right now. But I think there are people who aren't watching the Olympics for that reason, for sure. But I don't think there's that many people where it's down 58% because of that. You know, I think a lot of that has to do with it being just on the other side of the world, personally. So, but you know, as always, we'd love to hear from y'all. What do y'all think? Do you care about the Olympics? Do you not care about the Olympics and all that? It's just kind of crazy to see. So, you know what I am actually more interested in, Brad, than anything else?
What's that?
Did you see the trailer for Jackass Forever?
No, there's a new Jackass movie?
There's a new Jackass movie coming out.
With Johnny Knoxville?
With the entire crew, except for Bam Margera, which we'll get into that in just a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I can't show you the trailer because I'm sure we'll get flagged for copyright. But I just want to show you a few things in it. All right, I'm just going to show you a couple stills, and I'll let you kind of tell me if this is exactly what we need in the world right now. Because I've never thought I'd say this, but Jackass is the medicine that the world needs. So here we go. Let me just show you a couple of these real fast.
I'm in.
Yeah, right.
Say no more.
There's Johnny Knoxville right there, flying right there. So this is like the before and after. Okay. This is one of my favorites here, right here. We're gonna ride our bike up into the barrels and ride on through the barrels. The problem is that that's actually just a big old wall.
Oh, it's painted. Does it look like that?
It's painted on. I'll show this to you really fast. Hold on.
Oh gosh.
This is the. I saw this and I laughed so hard. I was like, "This is everything that I need in my life right now." I mean, really, this is the best thing ever. Obviously, you have Bulls and Johnny Knoxville, which is certainly a great thing. You have I don't know what this is. This guy has a spider coming in and whatever's happening.
Wow.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
They got a couple guys. Oh, and this lady. I'm just gonna show you this in instant.
Oh, what is she fast pitching right into their balls or something? Oh no!
Oh, look, watch her reaction.
There we go.
So look, I'm just saying,
The
this is
90s
coming
all
out.
over again.
This is coming out sooner than later, and I gotta be honest, I can't wait for it to happen. I cannot wait. I did see that Bam Margera was going to be in it, and then he actually got sent off set apparently because part of his contract said he had to stay clean and go to rehab and all these things, and he just couldn't do it. And so apparently a lot of the guys, Bam says he's been thrown under the bus and all this stuff, and his friends have turned his back on him and stuff. But in reality, they're making him be accountable for his actions, and make sure that he gets cleaned up and stuff. So I guess he's been in a bad place since Ryan Dunn died in a fiery accident. But either way,
That's crazy.
It should be fun.
I'm glad they're doing another movie. I didn't know that was coming out. I'll embrace that. Just how old are they now? Like in their 50s?
Right. That's kind of the tagline of the whole thing is that they're all old now, and they're starting to get like new members in. Like Eric Andre is part of the team now apparently.
Okay.
So let me just show you this one real fast because this looks great. Yeah, as Alex says, old enough to know better. That's right.
Yeah.
There we go. This one's always fun. I always like these. Like, come on, we really this is exactly what we need right now,
Yep.
So, anyways, it's
I'll
coming,
take
it's
it.
happening, and I'm very much looking forward to
That's great.
hold on. This is one last thing. This is how they end the trailer. Like, you see everybody's got gray hair now. They're all like older. This guy, this is the guy who had the terrorism bit at the end of the Jackass 3. And Johnny Knoxville's got his silver and stuff, and he's over here and he's like, I don't understand why you're tying me down. And they're tying him down, and then they're dousing him with honey, and then
Oh no, are they
then
going to release?
they put salmon in his lap, and then there's this bear who comes through. It's like, how great, man! It's so good.
That's
Anyways.
fantastic. Yeah, I love it. I look forward to that for sure. We need more. I don't know. I just feel like I was looking at movies today, and because we had kind of an open day today, and we were spending time together as a family, and I was like, maybe we could go to a movie or something. It's been a while since we've been to a movie, and I'm looking at the movies. And I'm like, there's nothing I want to see,
Right.
And everything that I was looking at I felt like was going to have some sort of undertone agenda to it or something like that. So I was like, meh. But I can't imagine the Jackass movies ever had any specific agenda other than don't try this at home.
Man,
So-
can we talk about movies that don't have an agenda? I watched the new Luca movie on Disney Plus. If you want to watch a movie that is just fun and cute, has no agenda at all, it's just about some friends going on an adventure. It was so fun and enjoyable to watch. And you watch these things and you're like I was waiting for something to be plugged in there. It's Disney, it's Pixar. They like to make their statements, but there was nothing. It was just about like two two little boys who are just friends, and they find this little girl, and they are trying to win a bicycle race. That's it, you know.
This was the story where they were this was the movie they were trying to make something out of.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Several people
They were like,
"No,
oh, these are these
right.
boys are gay, or something like that.
Right. Because they stare and they look at the clouds together, and it's like they just
they're
have
friends.
because they just have like a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's like So anyway,
I don't compute that. What? There's nothing going on there. Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah. Even though like the director was like, no, they're just friends. Like the guy behind the story is like, no, they're just friends. It's okay. You can just be friends. You know.
No, you're wrong. I fact checked you.
Like, okay. Okay, fun. I've really enjoyed talking about this stuff tonight, but we're not done yet.
Yeah.
As Smooth Action, it's fallen. Thanks so much, Smooth Action. You had a short story you wanted to tell tonight. Do you want to do that to finish off the show?
Yeah, we can. It's completely off base from anything else we've done tonight. I was cleaning off a desk.
Hold on.
Oh,
are you getting into the story?
No.
Okay. Well, hold on.
I'm precursing the story.
Well, precursing to the story after everybody heads down to the comments and uses this time to feed the algorithm. The algorithm over here on youtube.com/5timesaugust. Head on down there, get out your algorithms, and start commenting about your favorite segment of today's episode so far.
I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Young people today, let me ask you this. How can we party? The earth is so big. Can we party? I'm Al Gore, the voice of your generation. Party.
You know, this is an interesting question before you get into your short story. Tai says, is having an agenda in a movie always a bad thing? Isn't representation needed, i.e. gay couples? Yeah, Tai, they are. I have no problem with gay couples in any movies or whatever. Look, we've established this. I have no problem with anybody. I just hope you live your best life. But I think that when there's a thing called representation, then there's over-representation, right? I think that representation should represent life in general. You know, like when you look around, like when you look at movies nowadays, like it seems like every other person's in a wheelchair. But when you go outside, you know, like that's not the case. You know, I would love to see an accurate representation of how things are in real life. You know, and obviously people's accurate representations are different depending on where they live, right? Which obviously California is a lot different than the rest of the world, and these shows are made in California. So, you know, that's the accurate representation to them.
Right. The representation right now, I feel like it's just formulaic and repetitive and redundant. It's like having a hit song, and they're all making the same hit song with the same chords, with the same, you know, melody line. And you turn on a movie and you're like, oh, you know, within like the first 10 minutes of the movie, the tone and what's going to be going on here. So yeah, I mean, over-representation, that's the thing. And that's what I was kind of saying about like the Olympics earlier and the Grammys and stuff. It's like it's in everything. Like every single thing is trying to slide in a message and a thing, and it's like you can't just sell syrup anymore. You got to think about who's on the bottle of the syrup and how it's named. And it is just syrup.
Right. So Toothpaste brings up and says, shouldn't representation just be having a gay couple without bringing attention to the fact that they're gay? Isn't that what normal should be? Right. Like, like it shouldn't be like, hey, honey, I'm gay. Like, I don't care. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just tell me a story, you know?
Right.
I legitimately like all those people who cared, they're dead. Like they're long gone. Like people don't care anymore. They don't care, you know? So, and if you do have problems with gay people, then you're part of the problem. You know, that's the reality of it. You know, there's like, just accept people for who they are. That's fine, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But don't shoehorn it in. That's the thing. I think that's the biggest issue with all this.
Yeah, that's the thing that's going on with movies that you see these days. It's not there for the story. You know, the character. A lot of these characters and these premises are not there to really enhance the storytelling. It's just sort of like crammed in there, and you can feel it when you're watching the show. I think that's what we're kind of trying to say.
So a few things here. Pizza Time says representation is important. For it to be more impactful, it needs to be organically woven into the narrative. If talking moves specifically, don't compromise the story to pat yourself on the back. And Travis says it's the same thing I've been saying about Pride Month. I love how these big companies hop on board in June, but it'd be nice if YouTube didn't remove LGBTQ content on a daily basis, right? And how quick, if it really was a thing that really mattered to these companies, don't you think they should be talking about it in August?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'd feel it sprinkled throughout the year. It wouldn't just be hammered on for a month and then pulled back. The whole Skittles thing where they took away their color for Pride Month because only one rainbow mattered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the grocery store and I see all the other packaging that they had out for that month. Number one, I saw their other products. I'm like, why didn't you remove the rainbow from the other products that you guys have?
Mm-hmm.
I thought only one rainbow mattered. So I see that. But then, like the day after Pride Month, off the shelf, regular Skittles back up. It's there set up, to just sell candy. It's not there for certain people. It's just there to sell candy.
It's there to feed you sugar.
Yeah.
That's it. It's there to sell you cars.
Yeah.
It's there to have for the NFL to let minorities know that they care for them. It's there. It's so they buy extra tickets, right? The idea that like you're going to invest in this agenda, or this thought process or this movement or whatever phrase you want to say during this month is asinine. If you truly care about it, change your logo to represent it all the time. The time.
Yeah.
Like that's no company I ever will own will change based off of a trend. Like I refuse to do that. Or it's a trend. It's if you stand by something, you stand by it always. You don't stand by it for a month or a week or when it's trendy.
Yeah.
And
you'll notice
it's disingenuous.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll notice like a lot of those companies only did that, in America or in the UK, but where, in other countries where, LGBTQ communities are not, are very frowned upon, where those same corporations and companies have offices, they did not change. That's where they really could have made a statement, where that culture does not approve of it. They could have changed their logo there, but they didn't, did they? So, they did what was comfortable to help sell them some product to help get you to the movie or whatever. But yeah,
It's actually kind of interesting. Jeff Raptor says, try naming a sitcom that has poverty in it. I'm not, just to be totally clear, I'm not all caught up on today's sitcoms, but I can think of many sitcoms that we watched growing up that dealt with poverty or low-income housing or
Married with
anything
Children,
but
Roseanne.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like there was about the working class,
Right.
There were so many sitcoms that dealt with those issues. I think of God, what is that show? Sanford and Sons. Shows like that. Even Fresh Prince. The whole premise of the show was that he had nothing and came into something. And it was a coming of age story about how his life was totally different. Obviously they're extremely wealthy, but the whole premise is, it's a coming of age thing. But yeah,
Right.
Good Times, exactly. Good Times, another one.
Boy Meets World. Sean
Right.
Hunter was a lower class friend.
So
There's
a lot
always
there,
like
man.
there's a good texture in those shows because you had friends, even if the main character wasn't was just middle class and wasn't lower class or something. He had textured friends. You could feel the organic friendships there. It wasn't, again, crammed like we're talking about. But
Right. It's like people talk about if Friends was made today, there's no way Friends could be made today because it was 5 white friends.
mm-hmm.
It's like, really? Like you would feel the need? Because there was actually quite a lot of diversity in that show outside of the 5 main characters of that show. You know, Ross dated like one of the most attractive people in the show was
Right.
was the girl that Ross dated, who was
Right.
just a beautiful young lady. You know, and you know, you think of all the different characters that are in that show and how diverse outside of the 5 main characters that was, and they'll be like, well, we couldn't make that today. Why? Why could you not? Why could you not make that? You know, it's crazy. But whatever. You know, Ship says, is poverty itself inherently funny? I think anything can be inherently funny. You know?
Yeah, it is. You go back to, we talked about this. I grew up watching old silent movies. I was fascinated by them. That was Charlie Chaplin's whole connection with his audience. Was the tramp character was a low, like a homeless bum, basically. And that's how he connected with his audience, was making humor out of that situation. I mean, finding cigarettes on the ground and smoking them and things like that was funny back then. It's not very humorous to us now, but yeah, I mean, anything is. We're supposed to be able to find humor in the serious, you know?
No, we can't.
We can't anymore.
Not
Clearly,
according to
we're not
Twitter.
allowed to do that anymore. It would be
Yes.
racist or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tai says, How I Met Your Mother ran from 2005 to 2014 and had 5 white characters and Barney was Barney. So that's more recent. But it's not 2021. The difference between 2014 and 2021 is like opening a shade. You know, it's like there's light outside, and it's truly night and day. I mean, as far as the things that you can say and can't say, or that people are afraid to say or do or act or put in situations in the entertainment world. Like, you go back and you watch shows from 2010. I was watching a movie from 2008. This is 13 years ago, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you do want to, you know, you can't say that now. Man, he'd be canceled so fast. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I watched another one from, I think it was 2011, 2012. You know. I was like, oh, man, that's sexual abuse or that's sexual assault. Me too.
I had dodgeball on the other day,
Oh yeah.
and like that whole movie, I was like, oh yeah, they wouldn't do that today.
Right.
Yeah, it's one thing after. I think you go back about 5 years, then within the
Right.
last 5 years, it starts getting really heavy, and prior to that, you're like, whoa. Look how much we've changed. And people won't acknowledge it. People won't acknowledge how quickly our whole tone and standards have changed of what's acceptable and what's not and what's offensive and what isn't. And we're just going crazy now. Like I said, there's that thick froth on top of, this really great, fantastic life right underneath it. We could really be there sooner than later. So
All right, I'm sorry. So let's take a few steps back.
we derailed again, Craig.
That's what we do consistently.
Well, this will either be the best transition or the worst transition after that conversation, because I have some entertainment for you all, and we should have done this way earlier in the show, because now we've gotten pretty deep in the show. But I was cleaning off my desk. I found this today. Now, you know that I have all of our old videos, our old home movies and pictures from growing up and everything. I found this today. I thought, oh, that would be fun to read tonight. And this is a book, Craig. This is a book we talked about earlier, how I'd rather just pick up an old book and read it. You want to
write it?
This is a book. Yeah, this is a book Craig wrote called The Warrior of Sarnoff.
Whoa!
By Craig Skistimus. I found
Hold
it
on.
today. There you go.
That's awesome.
You wrote it when you were 8.5. I thought I would read
wow.
the book and share the images with you today.
This
Can we
is
do that?
This is yes. I would love everything about this. Have you proofread it?
I read it. Well, I read it once through. Yeah.
Listen, I know it was 8.5, but is there anything that no,
It's
just kidding.
very offensive. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. This I can't wait for this.
All
Oh
right.
my gosh.
So let me get started, because we're already an hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
into our
Okay.
show.
Well,
Here
I'll
we
tell
go.
you, I would usually put myself on camera here because I want to see my own reactions, and you guys probably
Yeah.
want to see my reactions. But no, this just needs to be all Brad. So just so we can get
Okay.
the whole thing here. So
All
go
right.
go crazy.
Here we go. All right. The Warrior of Sarnoff. Once upon a time, there lived a brave warrior named Alfredi.
Oh.
Where'd that name come from?
I don't know. It probably just sounded regal or something.
Alfredi. He lived in a forest named Sarnoff.
Nice.
This is very Lord of the Rings of you, Craig.
Okay.
It was a very...
Com says, for the record, I'll be judging based on diversity.
Okay. It was a very dangerous forest. One morning, Alfredi saw a vulture. The vulture dropped a message that said, "We have taken your brother prisoner. Signed the King of Ogres." So here's the picture.
Oh, nice.
There's
hold on.
that's the vulture dropping the message there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a red vulture.
Uh-huh.
Nice. That's wonderful. Good. Okay.
All right.
So the king of ogres. Just a quick recap of page 1. Okay. The King of Ogres has kidnapped Alfredi of Sarnoff's brother by having an eagle drop a message to him.
Yes.
Excellent.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Page 2. When he got that message, he was off on his journey. It took about 30 minutes to get out of the forest of Sarnoff. He had one problem. It was that he had to get past a swamp. He was in a hurry to get past it, but there was no way. So there he is. He's thinking, how do I get past this swamp?
Outstanding.
Like a purple swamp. Oh boy, here we go. Once he found a way, he went halfway through and a big lizard popped out. The lizard had big fangs and was about to eat Alfredi. Luckily, he found a stick and put it in the lizard's mouth just when he was about to eat Alfredi. There we go.
Hold on. Whoa, is that the... Hold on. Bring that closer to the camera. Got to bring that in a little tighter here. Oh, man. Is that from behind him? What a shot from behind him. That's behind Alfredi with the giant lizard, the giant thing sprouting from this. Straight up. Yeah. Man, this is very... I'm just going to be honest right now.
Yeah.
Very never-ending story so far with the swamp and, boss fights. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Never-ending story, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Craig, you were ahead of your time. He thought he had it all under control, but there was no way to get around the lizard. So he found a piece of wood and a chalk rock and drew the lizard as fast as he could. He drew all of the ways to get around it, but there were none. So it sounds like he's devising a plan.
Okay, yeah.
Finally, he found a way. He could climb over it. He climbed over it quickly because the stick was breaking. When he got to the head of the lizard, he jumped off into the swamp. So he went through all that trouble. Here he is. Very...
oh, look at that stick in the mouth. That's nice.
Kind of like Return of the Jedi or something.
Yeah. So I wonder what's going on the bottom there. Hold on. What's going on the bottom? It's like a circuit. Is that how tall this?
I don't know. He climbed. So he was trying to figure out. He realized he could just climb over it.
Well, I mean, he's not going to bite him. He's got a stick in his mouth.
Right. He could just climb over the thing. All right. Here, you ready for this? All right. He was doing fine.
Act 2 right here.
Act 2. Look, it's changed. He's gotten past the lizard. He was doing fine until he found a castle in the swamp. In the swamp, he found a castle.
Wow.
The castle was guarded by 2 magicians. Alfredi tried to talk to the magicians, but they threatened him that they would turn him into a frog. He didn't know what to do. There we go.
Man, that's the worst. Wait, so that must be the entrance to the castle in the swamp. And that must be... See, that's Alfredi's point of view, looking at... See, this is next level stuff, all right?
This is deep.
I'm just saying this right now.
This is your playwright.
If anybody would like to option this, right? If anybody would like to option this for a movie, potentially, there's tons of possibility here. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's getting intense now. It was sundown, and the magicians got tired. They proceeded inside the castle to go to bed. So they just sort of gave up their job guarding the castle and went to bed. Alfredi followed them. The magicians kept walking, but they kept hearing a ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum sound. The 9th time they heard it, not the 8th or the 7th, but the 9th time they heard the ba-dum sound, they turned around and threw a magic spell threw a magic spell at the noise. The noise was just the wind. As it turns out, it's just the wind.
Oh no.
But Alfredi moved away so the magic would not hit him. So here they are throwing their magic at the badum sound, which turned out to be just the wind.
Oh man. Well, what a bunch of dumb wizards.
Yeah. Okay, we got a few more pages here.
Okay.
After that, the magicians kept walking until they got to the master, the king of the ogres. We're at the boss level now.
Already? Wow.
Yeah. When Alfredi saw the king of the ogres, he wasn't afraid at all. But when he saw his brother, he was angry. Right at that moment, he jumped out of his hiding spot and shouted his name. Did he shout Alfredi's name? Did he say, I am Alfredi of Sarnoff. I am here for my brother.
I wonder what his brother's name is.
Let's see. Okay, so here's the king of the ogres. Don't want to miss a page.
I'm sorry, a little closer, please.
Yeah. Here you go.
Oh, he has a crown on. He does look like an ogre. I understand. Look, oh, that Alfredi on the left, brother on the right.
Right, and you got Shrek thrown in here, Craig.
Oh,
all right. The king of the ogres, a green ogre, Craig, way ahead of your time. The king of the ogres started to fight with Alfredi. The king of the ogres had one way that he could be beat, and it was a bright light had to be shined on his face so he could not see and give up. While they were fighting, a crack of light came through the window and hit the king of the ogres, and he could not see and gave up.
Convenient.
Here you go. No, light of all things. Oh my.
Wow.
Alfredi demanded him to get out of the forest before sun rose, or he would never be able to see forever. The king of the ogres kept running into the trees, and Alfredi and his brother started to laugh. Ha ha ha. Finally, there was peace in Sarnoff, and Alfredi and his brother lived happily ever after. Here you go. I think subconsciously you were drawing me there.
Well, you're probably right, but I also, you know what I like least about that picture?
What's that?
The fact that number one, he looks like broccoli.
He's running into the forest, away from the forest.
Yeah, he does look like broccoli. But number two, I clearly made the text bubbles and then wrote the letters inside of the text bubbles.
Right. Yeah. If you're doing a comic or anything, try to write the text first, for sure. Yeah. Okay, and then back we've got an about the author. Would you like to hear about it?
Yeah. Please.
All right. Craig is 8.5.
Oh, man.
And has one sister and two brothers. He enjoys playing basketball with one of his friends, Kevin.
Oh.
He also likes playing Nintendo. Craig's favorite food is pizza. He thinks this is interesting about his family. Everyone has won at least 2 prizes in a contest. One more thing. He loves writing stories. There he is, 8.5-year-old author, writer, producer, Craig Skistimus, writer of The Warrior of Sarnoff. The Warrior of Sarnoff trilogy will be in theaters starting next year. If you guys want to fund it on our Patreon page.
Listen, I'm dead serious when I say this. We should crowdfund that.
That would be fantastic.
And put real, actual effects into it and stuff. Spend a ton of money making it into a short film.
What I would do is I would hire I would get a great voiceover guy to read that verbatim, and then put the most we could put into the production value of this thing, and make a movie. Let's do it,
man.
Come on, Hollywood, let's make it happen.
I love it. Oh, that's good. Why do we need Hollywood? Right. We got the legends. We're all right.
I'm just kidding. Well, yeah. All right. So there you go. That's our show tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope you're still enjoying the show on its new location over on YouTube, youtube.com/5timesaugust. Let us know if you're enjoying it over there. Thanks for sticking with us through Craig's Twitch channel, twitch.com/ what is it, Craig Skits or Stuttering Craig?
Stuttering Craig.
It's Stuttering Craig now. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Hey, and let me just say this. If anybody's watching on YouTube, do me a favor. If you have Amazon Prime, head over to Twitch and support your boy with a free Amazon Prime sub. It's for free. I essentially get $2.50 for nothing, for you just hitting subscribe for free. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, the moon boy himself, is giving me money based off your effort of clicking like 2 clicks. I would greatly appreciate that. Prime subs are massive, and they go a huge way in supporting me, the show, and it costs you literally nothing. So
I can't believe we didn't even talk about that Jeff Bezos rocket and the whole thing about him looking like Dr. Evil in his wiener rocket. Yeah. I did mention Austin Powers today. I didn't even connect that, but anyways, fantastic. Yeah, get Jeff Bezos to send Craig some money. You're supporting our show.
Yeah, the Bezos bucks.
Yeah. Sweet deal. Well, that's it. We'll be back next Sunday about 9 p.m. Central. We hope to see you there. Make sure you're subscribed to all of our things.
Go watch Brad's new song. It'll be good.
Yeah, go check that out. Get it out there.
All right, we'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time over at twitch.tv/stutteringcraig. And a new video is going up on youtube.com/stutteringcraig Monday through Friday around noon o'clock as well. Noon o'clock Central. All right, guys, I'll see you guys later on. You got anything else, Brad?
That's it. We'll see you next week.